So hold on to your horses, folks, because today I've got an amazing combo deck that consistently wins on turn 4 out of nowhere, and I was shocked at how this performed for me today. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today I've got a bonus video with a totally busted combo deck sent to me from a subscriber, Drainbow. I can't wait to show you its simplicity and power. Firstly though, thank you all for watching, and go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button below if you haven't yet. And feel free to send me your decks via Discord or Twitter, links are in the description. But onto this deck, and today I'm in Historic with a slime deck. And yes, a slime deck in Historic, but this isn't your average slime deck. So Slime Against Humanity, as I'm sure you know, is a sorcery for 3 mana that creates a 0/0 ooze token with trample that gets X +1/+1 counters put on it, where X is 2 plus the amount of other cards named Slime Against Humanity that you have in your graveyard or exile. You may also have as many copies of this card in your deck as you wish. So here is where it gets spicy. I'm going to be running Surgical Extractions. So for 1 black Phyrexian mana, so that's just 2 life in our deck, you can, at instant speed, choose target card in any graveyard, then exile all copies of that card from that card's owner's graveyard, hand and library. So normally you'd pick out your opponent's combo pieces, but today you're going to exile every single copy of Slime Against Humanity from our deck, leaving just 1 left in your hand. Now when you do play your remaining slime, it's going to come out with around 24 power, and what better thing to do right now than fling it, or in our case thud it, straight at your opponent's face. We're running another similar card to Extraction in Unexpected Conversion. This one for 3 mana draws you 2 cards. Then you do the whole slime exile trick again, but this time you get to seek an instant or sorcery for each slime card you exile from your hand, seek a thud, and hopefully it's GG's for your opponent next turn. The only other spell I'm running in the whole deck is Faithless Looting to help discard slimes and draw some cards. Today I've got 21 lands, including many Surveil lands, to get that first slime into your graveyard, and that is the deck. Okay, so this deck is very simple in its execution, it's very simple in its makeup. You could reduce the slimes in your deck, but in testing I found several opponents had gained a couple of life in the meantime, which totally wrecks this combo. You could also run some counter magic or removal if that's your jam, but I do love the idea of totally ignoring our opponent's game plan and solely focusing on our own. As always, check out my Patreon if you wish to support the channel further, like these folks have done so at the credit level, and stay tuned for some janky gameplay that you just can't miss. I promise you, this deck is bonkers. Alright then, on the draw with our slime deck, and we do have Thud in our hand, which is the hardest card in our deck to find, so this is definitely a keeper. No idea what the meta's like in Historic at the minute, but I'm going to kind of ignore our opponent's cards as much as possible. We have a game plan and we're going to try and beat them in 1 turn. Play a tap green land. Well, we'll play our Thundering Falls. It's a district. Would like to see a slime there. Probably don't want this. We'll bin that one. Yep, so this deck comes courtesy of Drainbow from my Discord. If you wish to join, the link is in the description below. You can send me decks on there, and maybe your deck will be shown on a video. I really love this one. But we'll play our Faithless Looting. Opponent with Bard class, so that's a card you don't see often for a standard player like myself. But we'll discard one of these slimes and need to get it in the graveyard. We do have our Unexpected Conversion, which is nice. We'll get rid of one of this Shivan Reef. So we have a turn 4 win as it stands. We've just got to swerve the opponent killing us or gaining life. So they leveled up their Bard class to drop Domri. And what are you going to do, opponent? We're going to be playing next turn land and Unexpected Conversion, ditching one of these slimes. And we don't need to look for Thud, so that's not a problem. Svella. And another land. Okay. So as long as we don't die this turn, we should be good. We'll play Unexpected Conversion here. We're going to exile a slime from our hand. We're then going to exile 2 slimes from our hand and every slime from our library. So this is a little bit of an odd maneuver, but this is how the combo works. You can do this with Surgical Extraction as well. Make sure you keep 1 slime in your hand to play. Sometimes you might want to keep a second if you're thinking the opponent might have interaction with your hand. And as you saw there, we just drew 2 Surgical Extractions and another Conversion. So we have lethal next turn. Fingers crossed we don't die. I'm not too concerned about our opponent's board. Roxanne, okay. Gonna ping us for 2 here. As long as they're not gaining life, I'm happy. And Domri ups to add red or green. And they don't have another spell, so they're hitting us for 4. And I'm pretty sure this is GG's. This is how simple this combo is. So we'll play Slime. Make sure we tap right here. It's going to come down as a 24-24, and we're just going to thud their face with this one. And GG's opponent. Alright, on the draw, Slimes and Surgical Extraction. I mean, we're going to keep most of our hands because a lot of our lands are Surveil lands. Yep, opponent with a Forest, and we'll Hedge Maze, sorry, and we don't need another Extraction. Although we could have the second one to take out of our opponent's graveyard if need be, but not really that bothered. We're digging for a thud here. So Surgical Extraction is an instant speed spell. Still need one of these Slimes into the graveyard. Might have to just play one and hope they kill it. Originally this deck had 19 Slimes, but in testing I did play against a couple of decks who gained 1 or 2 life in the first 2 turns, and my Slime just wasn't big enough. Opponent with a Kami here, and yeah, playing a Slime here just as a bit of a blocker. We have enough in the deck that we can deal with the fact there's 1 on the battlefield. Oran Reef Ooze is going to put the counter on Kami. It's now a 3-3. Taps for 3 mana into Gala Greeters, and this is a classic card that gains life, so this is why I think having just the extra couple of copies of Slime is pretty nice. There is our unexpected conversion, so I'm really hoping we have lethal next turn. We'll cast this, we'll draw 2 more Slimes. Alright, we'll exile 1 and exile most of our Slimes in our hand, I guess all but 1 on this particular makeup, or this particular matchup, and every Slime from our deck. Got to be a little bit careful. If they kill that only Slime that we have in our hand, then it's GG's for us. Or if they manage to discard it. But we're also going to draw a ton of cards here, or we're going to seek cards here, so pretty nice. Maybe should have left red mana open there for Faithless Looting, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just Slime next turn and thudding. Hopefully the opponent doesn't gain too much life. In fact, we can attack here. I don't think they're going to block, no. Taking them down to 18 is going to mitigate any small amounts of life gain that they may have, and as long as they don't kill me, they are dead next turn. This is this deck, it's just popping off. I'm just so surprised how smooth it's been going so far. Like I said, the only 2 games I lost were the 2 games in testing, and they were both against mono white. One was a life gain combo deck. But I was very keen to get this video up as soon as possible. And Unnatural Growth, alright, I mean, we're probably going to be dead, not this turn, but the turn after, as the creatures are chunky to say the least right now. They're getting in there for 10 damage, 12 damage. Alright, in normal cases this would be a nightmare to get out of, but in our deck, we're just going to fling another Slime at our opponent's face. This one at 24 power, another 24 damage to our opponent, and yeah, this isn't too bad. GG's opponent. Alright then, on the draw with 4 Slimes in our hand. I mean, we'll keep this one. There's always the case where we just turn into a deck that's just slamming Slime after Slime. Opponent with a Cursebound Witch. Alright. So up against some kind of draining shenanigans. Yeah, with Blood Artist. Okay. And Unexpected Conversion. Sure. I mean, we're just going to keep playing land drops, keep dropping our Slimes when we get the chance. And yeah, look to try and win over the top. We've got to be a little bit careful of the opponent's deck. They're going to be gaining life. This is the kind of deck that I feel like having a couple of Slimes on the battlefield might be better than just exiling every single one but 1. So we'll play this one by ear a little bit. See how we get on. They get in there with their 1-2, down to 18, and a Scorn Blade Berserker. Sure. Okay, they sack their creature to drain us. Drafting a card from the spellbook. So I've played against a lot of these decks. I used to play Historic all the time. but I'm not really sure of the current metas. We did find Faithless Looting, but we'll play a conversion here. We just need to draw a land, really would have been nice, but we drew 2 more slimes. I'm going to exile... Well, we're going to exile all the slimes from our graveyard, and I'm going to go back and make sure that we have 2 copies in our hand, because I'm a little bit worried our opponent's deck against discard spells. So let's go back into our hand and unexile one. We don't need all of them. Also, we might have to fling twice. The opponent is going to be gaining a little bit of life. We didn't draw a land. We certainly don't have Thud yet. There's our Thud. Okay. I mean, sure. So right now we just need land next turn to win. Discard, I guess. Guess we discard this conversion. Now, they're not going to be able to react as well to our thudding, as the sacking of our creature is actually done in response to us, or as an additional cost for us playing Thud. Put it with Trespasser's Curse, okay. So land for lethal. Ooh, another Surgical Extraction, alright. I mean, these are good cards, the extractions. I was thinking about playing a slime there. I think I really need to find a land drop. Okay, well, there's a land. So I did think about putting some sort of mana dorks in this deck, but I really just didn't want to waste slots. I also thought about playing more than 60 cards, to be honest. Alright, Commercial District finds a Shivan Reef. Well, we'll bottom that one, and then we'll attempt to win next turn. Yeah, tough old game here. Missing that land drop as a couple of turns back has kind of thrown us a little bit. Okay, they just passed the turn. And Village Rights the Berserker, okay. Alright, I mean, see, the opponent's up to 22 already. And they still have Blood Artists on the battlefield. When we sack our creature, it's going to give them another life. Let's just go for this now. We'll go for Slime. Opponent. They've definitely got something in their hand at instant speed, so we've just got to be careful. Oh, I guess Trespasser's Curse also triggers, so opponent up to 23. So when we thud them here, yeah, they're going to gain a life. So they're going to go up to 24. And we're only doing 23 damage. Had we got rid of that extra slime earlier... Oh, they also have Village Rights. They're going to go up to 25. So, yes, I'm really happy we didn't get rid of that slime earlier. Because they'd now be on 24, and we would have 0 win conditions left in our deck. Alright, so we're just looking for another Thud. But opponent is on 2 life. I mean, it's not like if we get to do this again, they're going to be able to survive. So, they've got to be careful that they don't have any ways to kill themselves. Bastion of Remembrance, alright. So we have a few shots at finding Thud. We've got Faithless Looting to help us do that. Shambling Gas, alright, so this is a proper aristocrat-y kind of deck. Mono black. We find a forest. Alright, Faithless Looting, we're just looking for Thud. Draw 2 cards, and there it is. Alright, I mean, we had a lot of draws at it there. But I'm pretty glad we kept that other slime in our hand. Feel quite proud of myself for doing that one. And we are going to fling 24 damage at our opponent's face. And yeah, another victory there. This one a little bit harder, a little bit more thought-provoking, but still got there anyway. Alright then, on the draw. One slime in our hand, which is kind of rare, but we'll keep this one. 2 Thuds is also quite nice. Opponent with that bristling backwards, alright. Oh, okay, there's a Seville land. But I'm just going to Faithless Loot. Just need to hit land drops. We'll ditch the slime and a Thud. Alright, so we kind of set up. Do need another slime. Thundering Falls, alright. Opponent with a Insidious Roots. Sure, so some kind of combo deck that they're probably playing. Alright, well, let's... Guess we have to Surveil here. Okay, another Hedge Maze, alright. The only problem with Surveil lands, so many tap lands, but... Okay, Stormsplitter. I think we got to be a little bit careful. Well, there's a slime, which is nice. Stormsplitter and Insidious Roots is pretty powerful. So let's go for as much sort of combo action as we can do here. Play Unexpected Conversion. We'll exile this Slime Against Humanity as we drew a second one. So we'll make sure we exile them all from our library, but keep the one in our hand. Alright, so we have lethal next turn. Surgical Extraction's actually quite nice against Insidious Roots, I guess. Alright, so we'll drop a land, and then it doesn't really matter what we Surveil away. Unexpected Conversion. Well, yeah, we don't need that one. So we have lethal next turn. I guess the Extraction's quite nice against Insidious Roots, potentially, but we could easily die here. They're going to create copies of their Stormsplitter, and then they're going to immediately tap for mana for the Insidious Roots. So, Questing Druid first, then Dread Knight. Alright, so then they've got 4 Stormsplitters, 3 of them tap for mana. Are we going to die? I'm not sure. They've tapped 3 for Pitiless Carnage, and yeah, I think we're going to take out the combo deck. I'm sure we could have lost on that turn, but yeah, we'll play our Slime Against Humanity here. It's dropping as a 21-21, and we're just going to fling it at our opponent's face for a nice little win here against Insidious Roots combo deck. Okay, so let's check the deck out here on Arena, and here it is, including Gigantha, which I didn't have in the games, but it is a card you can absolutely add as your companion. Fits in quite nicely. I don't think you're ever going to cast it, but it might as well be there. We do have some counter magic you could add into the deck, something like Miscast or Spell Pierced. Also, these are best of 3 options. When I was playing the games, I did test this deck, and I played against 2 mono white decks where they were just gaining loads of life before I had a chance to fling my slimes. So I decided the best way to deal with that is to increase the amount of slimes and remove the counter magic, and then I didn't lose a game. We went on a little run, I think it was about 5 or 6 wins. Still haven't lost with this deck after that. But my meta was a little bit kinder to me, so by all means add in the counter magic if you want to. You could also increase the amount of slimes and go over 60 cards. We're still just looking for Surgical Extraction or Unexpected Conversion because you're still going to be just exiling as many slimes as you want. I haven't done the math, but there might be a tipping point above 60 cards where this deck actually thrives. You could also add something like Fling. Fling is the same as Thud, but it costs 1 more mana. It is an instant though. I don't know if that makes too much of a difference, but it is definitely another card you could find with Unexpected Conversion. The only other card I think you could add in as a best of 3, or if you feel like your meta sort of determines that you need to stop your opponents from gaining life, something like Roiling Vortex. For 1 red mana, you can stop your opponents gaining life this turn, which is quite, well, you would be playing this on turn 3, so they may already have gained life, but it is a option in there. This is definitely the only downside I can think with this deck at the moment. The only other downside with the deck is looking or finding your Surgical Extraction or Conversion, but I didn't have any problems with that. But if you have any sideboard cards or any changes you think I could make to this deck going forward, please let me know in the comments below.